Okay guys, so this is a short lesson on factoring, easy stuff, okay? So really this is roughly section 6.2 in the book, but really what we're doing is we're gonna factor things that look like x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, and what do we mean by factor? Well, by factor I kind of mean unfoil. So maybe I should even remember what foiling looks like. So if I've got something that looks like x plus box times something else that looks like x plus triangle, if I multiply this junk together, let's see, I need to remember to FOIL. And first things first is the f in FOIL, right? So I get the x times x term here. And then there's a plus, what's the outsides? That's a triangle times an x. And then the insides is a box times x. And then the lasts is a box times a triangle. Okay, so maybe I could kind of consolidate some like terms. So this is x squared plus triangle plus box x plus triangle times box. I said those backwards, but that's what I mean. Okay, so really my idea is to look at my polynomial that I want to factor, like I want to factor in x squared plus bx plus c, and I want to think about it this way. And I think, okay, if, and this is a big if, this is really the if of factoring, if I can make my b term, right, if I can look at that and I can think, okay, this is something added to something else, right, that's my triangle plus my box. And if my c term here, if I can think about that as box times triangle, then I can factor this, and it factors into these guys, right? So this is really what I'm thinking. I'm going to start with one of these, an x squared plus bx plus c. I'm going to look at it, I'm going to wonder, can I find two numbers that add to be b, and two numbers that multiply to be c? If I can, then I can factor my polynomial that I started with as x plus box times x plus triangle. So let's try it with an example maybe. So if we had our example, which is we want to factor x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, when I look at this, I think, all right, I need two numbers. They add to 4, and they multiply to 3. Okay, so what things can I multiply together to get 3? So I might think off to myself over here. All right, 3, that's, oh, there's only one way to multiply integers to get 3, right? That's 3 times 1. Okay, so can I add 3 and 1 to get 4? Oh yeah, sure enough, 3 plus 1 is 4. Now, I need to keep in mind actually a little bit that here I mean add kind of loosely. We'll see what I mean by that in a second. Really I mean add or subtract. So my answer to my factor problem is, okay, this guy, right, this dude, is x, wait, what? I found 3 and 1, right? Okay, so I do x plus and x plus. So x plus 3 times x plus 1. And then I should FOIL this back out to check, make sure I get the right thing. Okay, so let's have another factoring example here. So say that I wanted to factor something like x squared plus x minus 2. Okay, so when I get these, I look at the kind of b term, right? That's here. And I'm thinking, that's a 1. and I'm wondering, really I need to add 2, 1, right? And I look at this guy and I think multiply to -2. So I need to seek two numbers that do this. So if I think about 2, right? Well, really there's only one way to multiply to 2. It's 1 times 2. So can I add those to 1? Well, this is really I meant add or subtract, right? So if I meant add or subtract, really that's kind of clued in also by this negative sign here, right? So, okay, how can I add or subtract 2 to get 1? Oh, well if I do 2 minus 1, I'll get to 1. Okay, so I might think, all right, I can take that guy and factor, right? So this guy is, if this is x minus 2 times x plus 1, okay, I should check it by foiling, right? So I've got minus 2 x's here and 1x there. Oh, whoops. I dorked it. You guys see that? So I've got, right now this is minus 2 x's plus an x, which is a minus x, not a plus x. So I need to switch my signs. I need to add 2 and subtract 1. The problem I just did was x squared minus x minus 2, right? That's the one with the signs reversed. You guys see that? Okay, so this is kind of basic factoring. There's one thing we should also know about it, which is that if we try to factor some things, so like let's factor x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, so I think to myself, all right, we're going to add to 5 and multiply to 3, right? Okay, so 3 only has the one set of factors. It's 1 and 3, right? There's no way for me to add 1 and 3 and get 5, right? Not even subtracting. The only two things I can get out of this are either 2 or 4, right? So this pair isn't going to work. And since that's the only pair I've got, this one doesn't factor. So, doesn't factor with integers. And really that's all we're going to try to factor with. So I'm okay for you guys to say this one just kind of doesn't factor, and this with integers part is something that we can kind of leave off for now. Cool? All right. That's your lesson on factoring.